Marama of Marama. The aroha of This Is Home.
I'm done.
The flavour of Kia Eats the World.
Just like Mum used to make.
And one app that just got better. Now all the whānau gets a profile, so you get more of what you're into. Now, pause over here, pick up over there. Update the app, sign in, and we'll handle the rest. All you need to decide
This is home.
is what to watch first. Download the new MāORI Plus app now.
Taupō nui a te moana ko ngā titu whare toa te iwi. Nau mai, hara mai ki tēnei te papa tākoro o Owen Delaney. Kei taupō nui a te māua i tēnei rangi, mo tēnei kēmu. Whakamutunga o te taunei, o te whakataitai CNI, ko te whiringa toa. Kei taku taha ko Hika Pene. Hika, tēnā koe.
Ai, mihi ana ki a koe e te tuakana o te rā, e te kanga mihi ki a tūwhare tō tauhara maunga, a taupō nui a te moana, tūwhare tō maranga mai, ai, mihi ana ki nei kura, e rua ko tai mai ki te whiringa tō, and we both caught the semis of each game last week, so we've got a very good insight. In here we have it, St. Paul's Collegiate, St. Peter's Cambridge, and you got a bit of stats on St. Paul's, how successful they have been in this tournament.
Yes, St. Paul's Collegiate finished first in the regular season. They beat Wesley College last week in the semi-final, and they have a record 7 CNI titles next to their name, and they're playing for the Tane Randall Cup for 2026 as we look at the table for the regular season. And St. Peter's College finishing in third place. And Hika, you called the second semi-final last week. St. Peter's up against Lindisfarne, and that was another tight encounter, but it was St. Peter's who were too strong.
Yeah, they travelled down to over to Heretaunga, where Lindisfarne hosted, and what an amazing spectacle. Awesome support also. So it was a tough place to win on the road, but they got the job done. And they find themselves here in Taupō, where all these finals have been played for many, many years. So they're used to this, and it's such a great venue. Everyone loves going to Taupō, don't they, Anaru?
And that's the key thing that you mentioned there, is just getting the win when it comes to knockout footy. The slate is clean, and the St. Paul's and St. Peter's, the last two teams standing in the CNI competition, brought to you live and exclusive by Whakata MāORI here in 2026 for the very first time.
Yes, and as we see some of our amazing sponsors, Whakata MāORI Plus, here we are no, anei te kapa tuatahi.
Ai, kei ko ngā paumua ko Hull, me tete o ngā kāpene ko Hill Brown, me a pau teitei ko Wea Rawa ko Young, ko ngā ringa raupā ko Benjamin Boynton me te kāpene ko Young, ko ngā kai whakarite ko Silich, Rawa ko Kilmister, ko ngā pūtaka wanga ko Birch, Rawa ko Thompson, kei ngā parirau ko Blake, Rawa ko Smythe, ko Hei te Haika, kei te Taha Thompson, Kahotea, Kibby, McLeod, Very, McGo, Med the Bruin, ko ngā pauako o tēnei kapa, ko Daniel Teka, Rawa ko Josh Hay, and we're going to cross now to the coach of St. Paul's Collegiate.
Kia ora, Daniel. CNI final today, St Paul's, St Peter's. What are the big things you need to see from your boys in a big game like this?
Yeah, I suppose for young fellas in this sort of occasion is some controlled energy. So yeah, we're looking to start fast, but accuracy. Something we're working on this week. But yeah, just a full performance today that we can be proud of.
And you guys have obviously had a terrific season. What have you been most proud of your side this whole season?
Yeah, just steady growth. And you know, we've been in a lot of situations in terms of scoreboards and pressure, and we've managed to sort of work our way through that and take, you know, sort of each week as it comes. And you know, to be here today, we're pretty proud. But like I said, we want to put on a performance and make the most of the opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel, and all the best for today.
Ai, no rere te iwi ana i te kapa. Ka pakanga atu, St Peter's, Cambridge, ko ngā paumua, Harvey, Zammit, and Okuso, and the Pate Johnson, and ko te kāpino tēnei kapa, Ollie Barnes. Ko ngā ringa raupā, we have Mitchell, George, Edwards, Henny, and Kobe, Trey Ross, ko te tūwhāngai, me te topatahi, they will steer the ship around, and Morrison and Miller, ko ngā pariro, Galloway, Arawako, Zeki Clark moved out of the centres, ko ngā pūtaka wainga, Wailon Paki, Arawako, Cruz Mara, ko te haiko tēnei kapa, ko Jack Kausinai, and ko ngā kei ngā taha, a tōna waka kuhui te Kemu, Powell, Thom, Cameron Moores, Bell, Lang, Parker, and rounding off your St Peter's, Cambridge, first 15, Kai Kiri, ko te kaia ko tēnei kapa, Carl Perry, and the hard-working manager is Chris Powell, and we're going to now head over to Carl, our pre-game kōrero.
Kia ora, Carl. This is it right here, the big dance. What's the excitement like within the group, and how would you like to see that excitement play out on the field today?
Yeah, the final dance, excitement's been good. It's been a good week. It's, you know, no easy task making a final. So the boys have worked hard since February to get there, and, you know, they've given themselves an opportunity. So all I want and all I ask of them is to go out there and put a performance that they can be proud of. And if they can do that, then we'll see how the day goes.
And the game earlier in the season was a bit of a barn burner, 70 minutes back and forth. What did you learn about St Paul's in that game that you want to bring into this game?
Yeah, we learned that they're a good team, and if we give them opportunities, that they can score points. So I think we're a different team compared to when we played them earlier. And, you know, we've worked on a lot of areas that if we can execute today, then we'll give ourselves a great opportunity and should be one hell of a match.
Awesome. Well, thanks and all the best for today.
Cheers.
Ai, kua tai mai e nei kura ki te kani nui me ki e hika. No reira, e whai ake nei, ka tai mai e nei kura I rua. Ko hika pene, rao ko Anaru Rao, tēnei e mihi atu kia koutou katoa, e hono mai ki tēnei pāpāhotanga whakata Māori. All in anticipation as both sides come out. And as you can see, the Rick Francis Memorial Shield is being held there. And it's on the line today alongside the Tane Randall Cup.
Yes, tētahi kāpene, o mua o te kapa o pango, Tane. It's just the emotions as they come out onto the field. It's been a tough season to get to, as you say, ko te kani nui. And just look at these wonderful visuals here of the support from both teams. You couldn't ask for better conditions. It looks like a nice, dry, hard pitch. And kanui ngā mihi, also big mihi to the adjudicators. They get to call this final anaru.
Right, Statin Fide, which in Latin stands for stand firm in the faith, the motto of St. Peter's. And Stricta Satso, which in Latin means built on a rock, a nod to St. Peter. Whose name means rock. So that's the St. Peter's motto and the St. Paul's motto earlier. And both sides will look to embody their respective school mottos this afternoon as we wait in anticipation now for the haka. And the cap players, as per tradition, before these first 15 fixtures, laying down their caps as a sign of respect.
And you can just karongo I te ihi, me te wehi, me te wana. But it does look like the team you called last week is they're going to huddle up first, so ka waiho marata. Kua takato te manuka. Me mihi ka tika. Ko tahi ana ki te whenua, ka ki tēnei momo mahi, ko te haka. Ki Aotearoa nei, pērei tō tāua kapa ngā tamatō, āmiki nā pō. Takato te manuka. Kawe ake. And there we go. And I really enjoyed how they let the haka sent out the message, but stayed very, very toe as they come out of it. There's art to do in the haka, and making sure you stay focused out of it there, Anaru.
Yes, and the last time these two sides met in 2026, it was St. Paul's who were on top 36 points to 29 in a high-scoring thriller. And St. Peter's have only won the one CNI title back in 2020. They drew the final 36-all with St. Paul's. They shared the title in 2020. Will we see the same again in 2026? St. Paul's, as I mentioned at the top, have won a record 7 CNI First 15 titles, and Chris Cowie is our kaiwawao, our referee this afternoon. So the stage is set for the final of the 2026 CNI competition.
Somehow,
St. Paul's and St. Peter's.
Somehow, I don't think they want to share the title this year. It's just got a feel they don't want to share. Now, last week, the ship was steered very, very well by both Topatahi first five. So here we have it. Anei te tīmatatango te whiringa tō.
Kua tau te pea. And it's there for St. Peter's early on.
Taken back.
A bit of niggle. It's taken from outside the 22 and a long kick. Stays in play. St. Paul's from the back. A little dummy. Good tackle. Goes to line. And here it is coming to this right-hand side. Another little dummy. Bump off there by Birch. Still going. It's lost forward. Ko taka whakamua te poro. Ko whakawhiti nei. Kia St. Peter's.
Kia St. Peter's. Kei te kite mai koutou I te hi me te wehi Whanganui e nei kapa, e nei tai tama. And we just got a little glimpse of both teams. Rautaki, Miller, he steered the ship around really, really well, had a good connection. But ko te haika, hey, he came back and I dare say St. Paul's, as the kaiako said in the lead-up, they definitely want to express themselves today.
Just feeling each other out in the early stages. Only 1 minute gone in this match, and the first scrum, ko tēnei te nonoke, tuatahi o te kēmu nei. Ko Morrison, tēnā. Ka putatu te poro. They spread it out to the backs already, heading towards the wing of Clark. Couldn't quite get away there from Blake. Still there for St. Peter's. Now Miller and the forwards just settling play, centre field. Counter ruck here, opportunity for a turnover, St. Paul's. They've got the ball. Massive turnover early on in this match. They've got an opportunity here. Not quite ready on attack, but they've got an advantage.
Yes, and nei. Ai ki te kore o te kaiwa wao, e hāmene, e whanga ana, ki te kore rātau, e whakawhiti tērā rārangi. But you can just see the intent at contact. And once again, Hay just shows the ball. He's looking lethal.
Slippery character, Hay, almost breaking the line. Silic keeping it short. Too young. The Locks getting amongst the action, but they'll go back for the penalty.
And we just saw a little bit of class of Mitchell. Te Te Honga Ringa Raupā, blindside flanker there, just snuffed that one out. But don't we love that counter attack there, straight into it. Both teams have got some very good pill early, and they don't mind moving it out from their 22. But here we go. Ko te Topatahi Gilmeister, who you saw a lot of last week, is going to head to the sideline.
Interesting stuff. In the final, they want tries. And that penalty was pretty much right out in front of the post, but they opt to plug the corner. So an early test here for the St. Paul's line-out. Ko Jackson Hill Brown, tēnā. I mawana te poro, e whāngai ana ki tēnei rārangi āwaho. The co-captain in his third season. Goes towards the middle. It's Weir, Gus Weir. He's a champion rower. He's got plenty of strength in the middle of this maul as they drive. It's gone to ground. They've got an advantage. St. Paul's penalty on. Very close to the line. Rua Mita. Anei. Ai, he piro ko te piro tuatahi o te kēmu nei ko George Benjamin.
Ai, me hoki anō tātou ki tērā oma tōtika me te oma māro I tīmata I te taha. Me mihi ki a te teo ngā paumua Jackson Hill Brown ko te whiu. Te teo ngā pauteitei, engari mātaki mai, tēnei oma tōtika, oma māro, ka tahi, ka rua, ka kuhu mai, ka whai piro, ko hato paura, te tuatahi, kia whai rima piro.
Right, tata, ahua, neke, me pia, a pia ki te rārangi piro, Benjamin.
Ai, Benjamin. Ai, te teo ngā ringa raupa, and we were talking off camera that games like this on a dry patch, loose forwards, definitely that roaming open side, it's got a lot to play, but te tiro ki te taha, they're all excited. Kei te whātoro, ka tika hoki, anaru.
George Benjamin, we just talked about Gus Weir earlier being a champion rower. Well, George Benjamin, again, comes from a rowing background. National rowing champion in double sculls and silver in the singles at the MΑORI Cup earlier this year. George Benjamin.
Well, as we know, nei kura rongonui, ki te hoi waka karopiro, te tahi kāinga, o aua momo mahi. But we're back at it, and it's only 5 minutes into the CNI final. Yes, if you just tuned in, this is St. Paul's Collegiate, who've had a big real estate on the titles, up against St. Peter's Cambridge. Kaya, hata paura te poro I tēnei wā.
Use it. Whana Pawaka. Ki ngā rangi tūhaha. Drops down, and who's got it? It's there now for St. Peter's. And a lot of traffic, but the ball goes into touch by St. Peter's, so it'll be a line out to St. Paul's.
Yes, and you could just see that, you know, when you build momentum, you score early, you have attacking defence, pushing the opposition out. Everyone's up and up they go. Speaking of up, ko te pau teitei tēnā, ko Weir, ehe kia ngā wā kua karanga tōna ingo.
Right, and I've gone quickly here. St. Paul's looking to attack hard. The speed, here's Hay, gives it out wide now to Blake, the winger on the left-hand side. Caleb Blake chops back on the inside. Sillage gets it out to Kilmister. Short ball for Hull. The prop getting amongst things. Sillage again, spreading it out to this right-hand side. Young with a dummy.
Oh, me tūpato. Kai te tino, hia kai tēnei kura. Oh, engari, I taka whakamua, and they are looking, they've definitely picked up the ante and the tempo once they get into that sort of 22 area, scoring potential area. Anaru.
Right, here, Hamene, Kinua, Taupō, and the decision is to go for goal this time, right up in front.
And what a dream start. You know, you talk about, we heard both coaches want to start strong, want to start fast. They've scored early on. We were unsure they were going to take the three in front of the post, but this one's a gimme, as they say. And yes, they're looking very, very slick, the 7-time winners of the CNI.
And what a player to have on your side, Jackson Hay, the highest point scorer in the 2025 season. This is an easy kick, he's got it. 3 points to St. Paul's, they extend their lead. Ko te kau, ki te kore.
Yes, they're under immense pressure. Last week, one of the strengths of Cambridge was definitely ko te tōpatahi, Luka Miller. He just really was composed, and they just absorbed a lot of pressure. So I dare say they would spoke of this. And now they're looking to put a bit of pressure on this kick. Yes, and great stuff. Just stayed in.
Just, I think St. Paul's were getting a little excited there. It was on its way out on the full. But no, it'll be a line out here. Another one here for Hill Brown. He's the highest capped player in this St. Paul's side. The experience, so important in matches like this. Hill Brown feeds the line out into the middle. They keep it alive for Sillage. Spreads it to Birch. Birch with the short ball to Thompson.
Koia kei te uma, tōtika uma hāngai, Whanganui ngā pau mua me ngā pau muri, Gus Wai anō tērā kai hoi, no rota mai te kura, and just see this catch pass, nice and direct running, setting up their pods, but they managed to hold them up here. If they could take them out, this would be a big win. It could be a turnover. No, and they're just the service here from the top two whāngai Sillage through the back line, just straight running, direct and hard, Anuru.
And it's still there, just gone backwards and going back forward. Here's Thompson, who has a run.
They don't deviate, don't they? They just stick to the plan. Little dart here from the
Sillage
top.
with a good pass, and here comes Kilmister's got support. Back to Sillage. O titi roa ia ki te taha MΑORI tōloi tēnā ko Blake. Te kai piro, te pariro, e rere ana ki te rārangi piro.
Ai, me hoki anō tātou ki te rārangi o te oma, i Whanganui ngā paumua, me ngā paumuri o tēnei kapa. Kai te wharangi o rite, o mahāngai, ko te topatahi, a Gilmeister. Whakahoki te pōro ki te tū whāngai. Sillage, ka tahi ka piro a Blake, e hoa mā, me tūpato, kai te teno, mate kai tēnei kura.
Ai, ka taia, te kite, te hia kai o tēnei kura. St. Paul's, te kauma rima ki te kore. Challenging conversion coming up from line Jackson Hay, the Waikato under-16s rep.
And when you've been to, as we say, the Kani Nui many times and come away with 7 titles, they come into this final with such confidence, finishing the tournament top of the table, beating a very gallant Wesley College team last week. It was very close for most of the game, but this is a dream start.
A dream start for the 7-time CNI champions, St. Paul's Collegiate. St. Peter's get things back underway. It's another high restart. Kia kora te pōro. St. Paul's. Pauka whana. E whai ake nei. For Sillage.
Ai, kei te pātai. Engari i reira, a luka, topatahi, kei te whiu haere te pōro, anei te kaitaka wainga, Cruz Mara, ka whakahoki te pōro, ki tana hoki wainga, rawa ko Wailon Paki, o Hāngai, o Maro, kei reira luka, kei te kimi e te topatahi, and they've finally got a little bit of pill.
Edwards Hemi, tēnei, another player from the Waikato under-16 side, and here is DeLuca Oliveira. St. Peter's with Miller. They come to this left side here, just looking for some space, but it's been plugged pretty quickly.
Turns it over. Ka tahai te pōro, kei aia te pōro, kei te whakātu, ka whakahoki ki te topatahi. A hako te aha, ka riru i a rātou te pōro, engari i reira hoki, a te haumaru, a kei konei, o hanei me āta tūpato, me hāmene pia kia kaua rātou e whai pero anō engari kei te whiu haere, kaitaka wainga ki te parirau, Blake again, he's just having a ball out there.
Yes, they're hot on the attack here, St. Paul's. Into St. Peter's 22. It's Birch with the short ball, engari kua taka whakamua. E ora tonu ana te pōro, ko Kalsanai, tēnā, e hinga ki te papa. And now St. Peter's pretty much deep in their own 22, looking to exit. Morrison goes to Miller. Miller from his 5-metre line, he'll find touch, safe and sound.
And, you know, if you're going to make an error, it's not too bad to make it a few metres out from a try line. The pressure they're putting them under, they're basically only giving them one option, and it's to exit with an exit kick and retain position. Now, we're only 12 minutes, 30 seconds in, 15-0. Have you seen a start to a game like this? Anuru.
Well, St. Paul's will be so pleased to start a final the way they have, but anything is possible. Plenty of time on the clock. He moro.
Oh, ai ki te kaiwawau, e rongo māua, e hāmene. Kei te haere engari, kua wātea tētahi ara mo te paumua, o ka reira tono hoa, kei te rārangi mai ngā kai oma o St. Paula.
Pointing tēnā. E paneke ana. Kōkiri whakamua, he hāmene anō, kei te haere. Hill Brown taking contact, 5 metres out. Now they spread it, it's with Kilmister. Stepping on the inside, Kilmister keeping it alive. The bounce is good, but they'll go back for the penalty.
And just the percentage of how many times... Look, they're going to go quick. Anei kua whai pero tēnei, 10 o kaitākaro, I roto I te kapa. Karikau he kaitākaro tuatuhi aia me ki. Most capped player there, Jackson, Hill Brown. They have definitely been given a licence to go at it. Gets a penalty tap and just go straight at it, and was probably his player offside, but the power, determination, the strength, kua whai pero anō rua te kau ki te kore anaru.
Ai, tēnei uri no Waikato Tainui, e Ngāti Tipa. Jackson, Hill Brown. Titi o ngā kāpeni o tēnei kapa. Kārawe.
Owe taukuri ia, rua te kau ki te kore. Now, we've seen them restart a few times here. I wonder if they may just slightly change it up and maybe kick to the other side, because every time they've kicked to this left edge, Gus has got up, he's retained possession, and they've attacked and got all the way to within the try line, so they may have to change up their rautaki anaru.
Akua nei, ka kite. Nea St. Peter's. Te rua te kau ki te kore. St. Paul's, hato paura. Engari karera te poro. Te taha St. Peter's. Is this the opportunity for St. Peter's to get back into this match before St. Paul's, start to pull away? Here is Miller going out to Paki, Waylon Paki. Staying on his feet, but eventually going to ground. Morrison. To Miller. A pod, centre field. Good contact here. And they can centre turnover St. Paul's. The referee has the whistle in his mouth, and yes, he hamene, a penalty for St. Paul's. Brilliant defence.
And Kongaringa Raupa, we talked about the battle out there of the loose forwards. And we do know just the mountain of ground they cover. And there we had it. We had Benjamin, try scorer, up against ko te te o ngā paumua rongonui o te hōreri anei, and he's there over the ball. He's had a dig there, he's had another dig, he's looking at the ref, he's right on it, and unfortunately they just didn't have enough players to clean out that part there, and it's going to be a long day in the office there, Anaru.
George Benjamin with the turnover and the penalty for St. Paul's, and here we go. St. Paul's, it's just gone forward. So it'll be St. Peter's scrum. Intricate play there, off the line out by St. Paul's. Didn't quite execute it, but they were looking good on attack.
Yeah, and we can just see that's the second error of the kickoff. They got an error in the air, another one there. That'll be good signs for St. Peter's Cambridge, because I wouldn't say it's fatigue, but you know, anytime you can sort of stop momentum of a team that's almost on a downhill has got to be a positive for you. And I'd like to see the ball carrying of the forward pack here last week. Every time sort of Kobe Trey Ross, Edwards had the ball going forward. Look at the scrum.
Oh, tight head. Oh, kua whakawhiti kia St. Paul's.
Absolutely damaging first tight head of the season that I've been seeing, but they have come, and geez, another part of the field. But as they come through, Po Muri, Kaitaka Wainga, just lethal catch pass, and he's going to go to the front. Anei ko whai pero, a Hay, Pai Kare.
Jackson Hay.
Scoring at will.
Kōkonga. He pero anō. Ko neke whakamua. A St. Paul's hato paura. rua te kaumārima ki te kore. Ko tērā tangata anō, ko Jackson Hay.
Ai, engari me hoki pia kia Thompson, te kaitaka wāinga, you can just see Zilich, Gilmeister, the service that Zilich is giving and the decision making of Gilmeister off the back of just that forward momentum on ngā Paumua, massive tight head, and they are just a class above in this 18 minutes.
Oh, look at that, straight down the middle. He's got it. Jackson Hay, rua te kaumārima ki te kore.
And speaking of class, touches down and then converts his own try. This is a wonderful display of just ball movement between forwards and backs at 27-0, scoring more points than minutes as we go. But I dare say the message to St. Peter's, they've just got to apply and try and apply the game plan they've come with.
It's a good restart, but St. Paul's have secured possession.
We're Tuafā, who can up anything in him that he, whether it be line out or kickoffs, just so efficient. Oh, catch! You know your kick's only as good as your chase, and they've got the numbers.
Here, secured a turnover. Zilich gets it out, and it's Kennedy now in his third year in the first 15. Zilich again, just digging for it, finding Kennedy again. As St. Paul's inch closer and closer to the try line. It's Kilmus that goes long, looking for spaces. Hay looking for a double, but he's taken to ground.
Yes. O mahanga ana Benjamin e karanga mo te pōra ko te Paumua. Engari, ko te number 1, te co-captain. But here we go, pick and go again, te o ngā Paumua, Kennedy. But he's over the ball there. How te kōrera te kaiwa ka, ki hai e I whakai. O ka tahi te rutu, kei te tino, mate kai tēnei kapa Gus, where he's been everywhere.
There's a penalty, so there was an advantage for accidental offside. And decision time now for St. Paul's.
Anaru, just quickly, every time they've been in this position, they've either scored or they've got they've got a penalty back. Just such high percentage attacking rugby.
Well, they've come out here with a positive attitude. They want to score tries, St. Paul's, and they've opted for the scrum. So, ko tēnei nonoke, kei te rārangi rima mita, ai. Tino tata rātou ki te rārangi piro, St. Paul's. So they've got options both sides. They've got a pretty big blind side here on the right side with Jackson Hay lining up.
I just wonder if young co-captain may just pick and go like Buck Shelford back in the day, back of the scrum there. But as you say, they've got multiple options. It's tender hooks on defence.
So you've got Jackson Hay, the fullback, and Billy Smythe on this right-hand side. As you said, Hika, Lockie Young, very dangerous off the back of the scrum. And if we look at the previous scrum, if that's got any indication, expect a huge push here by St. Paul's. Just a little niggle up front. A few resets here. And an opportunity for both sides just to take a wee breather.
Yes, and speaking of a little breather, e mihi ana kia koutou, whakata Māori, Māori Plus, Taura Whiri, te reo Māori, Māori Language Commission Baileys, the Tiva Celtics, our amazing sponsors, our ka nui ngā mihi kia koutou.
Kua tai mai a kato paura. Tēnei ahi, ko puta te poro, ka haere ki tērā taha, ko hei, tata rawa. Oh, he piro, ko Jamie Zilich tēnā ka wanike.
Tika tau, well deserved try scorer there, Zilich. Just really, really enjoyed not only his service, but his option taking. He just knows when to run. He has a little look there, and just that body check to the side, and the defenders looked out, and this is getting dangerous in terms of scorelines. 32-0 under it.
32-0. Jamie Zilich, another experienced player for this St. Paul's Collegiate side, the deputy co-captain, his third year in the team. very good touch player, Hiccup.
Yes, a name that you hear through youth grades, both in contact and non-contact. And speaking of contact, Jackson Hay, he's been connecting very nicely. Even though they might have pulled that one, they're just so efficient coming through. And looking at last week's score, you called the semi. It was a very close semi, wasn't it, between Wesley? But yes, Hay, lethal here on the replay. Little show here, and out they go, and you have to. And I guess you're damned if you're doing, you're damned if you don't in that situation. But generally, when they've ended up in the 22, they've come away with points.
Great shot there by our camera man on the sideline. Another restart. They'll be getting sick of this, St. Peter's. And here we go, it's Gus Weir on the rampage. From the restart, St. Paul's, they're in the mood for another try, no doubt, as they spread it. Up the middle, there's Birch, still there, quick ball, the key. Birch again, goes to ground. And it's just slow, but it's there eventually for Thompson. Whanau mai here. Taranaki. There's a probing run here by Sillage. Very dangerous off the back of the ruck. Sillage, as it's there for Kilmister, puts a little kick in. And it just goes a little too far.
Just in that caption and that sequence, Anaru, we saw Smythe, the right-hand winger, show up and support there. So they're just so dialed in. I did like that little change-up from Gilmeister. Relief pressure and just put a little bit more. And obviously, the game plan is played on that end of the field. He's riffed a great game. I mean, it's been flowing. A lot of it's around how adjudicators let it go. But I think you hit it on the head there, Anaru. The positive attitude that St. Paul's Collegiate have shown up has really been on full display in this first half.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, really. Any final that you come into, being up 32-0 in the first 24 minutes is almost unheard of. But St. Peter's, especially the coaching team at halftime, will be thinking really hard on the types of messages that they want to send to this team. But I'm sure St. Peter's will want to try their very best to get on the board before the break. It's about 10 minutes remaining in this first half.
Yeah, and you just see the depth off screen, how deep they are. Once again, it'll be interesting to see the position stats because they've definitely been starved of position. But, you know, it's the old saying, you just chip away and chip away. Te rā toki and no one i te rākau nui. And they just need a little pill. I feel this team just to get into the game because they haven't had any opportunity really to settle into this. And it's 25 minutes in the first half.
That's right. Just a reminder, this match obviously being played for the Tame Randall Cup, which goes to the winner of this competition, but also doubling up as a Rick Francis Memorial Shield match, which St. Peter's won off Lindisfarne last week. It's the Ranfurly Shield of schoolboy rugby here in the central North Island. And so 2 massive titles up for grabs today.
And anei, luka te poro, hoa tu kia mula ki te putaka wainga, and I've got to have a dig here. Just get a little chip and chase through. Unfortunate, it was 2 minds, and when you're starved of position, sometimes you just go into your shell a little bit.
Okay, straight out into touch. So it'll be another line out for St. Paul's. It'll be Hill Brown again to feed. And another good take by Alex Young. He's got the ball up in the air. Young, he's running in that maul as it drives up towards the 22-metre line. It's there for Sillage. He has another probing run, Sillage.
He has got his, he's got confidence from that last time he dotted over, but anei, ko ngā pau mua, kai te o ma whakamua, mā wai e koke whakamua, mā te kapa o hata paure e koke whakamua. But here we go, te topatahi, tū whāngai. Oh, look at this, the pau mua.
Ai, rua mita. Mai te rārangi piro ko Young tēnei. Tataki te rārangi a he piro. He piro anō. Ko Lucky Young. Te kāpene. o te kapa nei, te kaipiro.
Once again, just lethal. Now, big Gus Ware, he has, oh look at this, Ane. Five Piro and just either side, co-captain there, they're both together. Gus Ware, obviously, we've talked about his strengths in multiple codes, you know, on the waka, but just a big engine there, Anaru.
Well, to have Weir and Young in the locking department for St. Paul's, both with plenty of power, aggression, and size. Reminds me of the Brad Fawns of the world. The grunt up front, the engine. St. Paul's really getting a solid foundation up front. And that kick is good from Jackson Hay and his personal tally.
Well, as we know, Sami Suni, Tauki Aho, Raukura of Tēnei Kura, you know, old boy, and if he's anything to go by how he runs, you can definitely see it's in the DNA of this kura. It's unbelievable. I haven't seen a display like this in the CNI. It's hard to recall, but this team is, are they up for it again? There's Young. Oko Tāhai, Taku Te Tiro, Luka, Miller, Anei. And this is what they need, just some good early pill. Paki, few haere. Ki te kaitaka wāngi ki tana hoa, ki a Mara. Wow, ooh, just landed awkwardly there, but straight on it. Look at the pressure. And hea te kōrera te kaiwa wao. Yes.
St. Peter's.
All right, few haere te pōro. It's I just want to talk about Jackson Hayes' goal kicking today. Not only is he scoring tries, setting up tries, you know, having a player that has that skill. I think you might have seen he might be the highest point scorer of the competition.
His personal tally, we'll have to check it at half-time, but it's definitely going up there. He scored a try and he's got a few kicks over. So if you look at Hadley Thompson, the centre, he's overcome 2 ACL surgeries on his left knee to be here today. What a story of resilience to be part of the St. Paul's Collegiate side, who are currently up 39-0.
Yes, and me mihi kia anaru me ana mahi rangahau. Just thank you to the kura that sent through a lot of this information as we do our homework during the week to bring you these stories like that. What a journey at such a young age too. That's a couple of years out of any series. As my friend Anaru has said, resilience at its finest. But I dare say our St. Peter's, Cambridge, they will be looking forward to the Oranges at half-time, just so that they can reset. Here is Luka Miller. He's been he steadied the ship very, very well for this team, but when you don't have any purpose, there's not a lot of steering to do. But the first time I feel like they've been in the 22, I can recall.
Yes, it's been one of those halves for St. Peter's, but they'll be buoyed by the fact that they have possession in the opposition's 22. So a big opportunity here to go into the break with some points on the board. Desperately seeking those points at the moment. St. Peter's, they've been blown away in this first half.
Yes.
6 minutes to go until half-time.
And kei te kite au, ko whakawhiti mai te kaitākaro James Powell. We've got a Paumu step up into the hooker position, and yeah, big one. Wow, is it Young? I think it's Young. Look at this catch pass. And they te kaitaka waina te kaumarua pāhi anō kia hei. Oh, Smythe, little chip through. Yes, oh, just lucky they've got someone back, and he's probably just got to get out of here and try and secure some defensive prowess. But they've done well. They're going to try and clear this one out. First time, probably for a long time, that they've held them out since they've been on an attacking raid. And, geez, the numbers are slim there. Oh, what a tackle. Driven back there, Anaru.
St. Peter's have gone from one end of the field to the other, and now they're looking to exit from their own goal line. A ton of pressure on poor old Luka Miller. And St. Paul's with a net gain, big time net gain here as we look at the replay.
Yeah, just love this interaction. Catch pass. Once again, nice kick here from Smythe and inside, but here's our man backing up Thompson. Straight on it. Combination, these outside backs, they're all in there. Oh, well.
St. Paul's from the line out, the Haere Muri. ko Huariti ai, te kapa nei, and the more, e moro, engari, ko te ahua nei, te rapia, ko whana ko kao he hamine, ka hoki atu kia St. Paul's.
All clearly formed.
Ka Omarato, surely, they will keep on, they're looking at the corner, so they'll plug it for another line out, 5 metres out.
Yeah, HK, Topatahi, Gilmeister, Gilmai Te Poro, and they're going to come back again. Jackson, Hill, Brown, they've had, when they've got young and where they're so hard to handle, there's a line out down there, so they're getting multiple players up in line outs, and we'll see a set piece here.
Find his first out of the ball.
It's Young again with the one-hander. He loves it. Meters from the try line, St. Paul's. Tata rawa, ngari, kua taka whakamua, te poro.
Yes, and I just seen right there, that was that was quite vital before going into half. There's still 3 minutes, but that's a massive stop there from Joshua Okuso. A big tackle, big way this lethal attacking weapon, as we call St. Paul's Collegiate, 7-time CNI winners. And they've got a real knack at scoring points down this end. So big win on that one, Anaru.
Yeah, and it's not a sure thing here for St. Already conceded a tight head already in this match. And they're under all sorts of pressure. That's the 5 metre line they're on at the moment. So Luca Morrison will be looking to clear this as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Quite clearly, St. Paul's have the ascendancy at scrum time, but that's a better scrum by St. Peter's as they run it from their own try line. They're getting the meters too. What a carry, but it's been stolen there by Kilmister. But what's the call of the referee? Oh, done illegally. And so it's a penalty.
But what, you know, that's just great attitude, isn't it? You know, first 5 up against Pucky, barnstorming runner, but in the intent was to get the ball back. It wasn't just about the tackle. So the mindset of this team, obviously being 39 points ahead, you can really start dreaming even bigger, can't you, Anadu?
That's right, that's the type of attitude that St. Peter's will surely want coming into the second half. As time ticks down in this first half, St. Peter's now with the line out.
Yes, and then we have Powell, who stepped in for Zamet.
Oh, that'll be a free kick for St. Peter's, closing the gap in the line out.
They definitely needed something to go their way. He's going to put the big bomb up. They've been so good under the high ball.
Good chase, good tackle, putting Kilmister under all sorts of pressure. St. Paul's on the back foot. They put the kick in behind. Like, almost a 50-22. It's very close to it, but no, it's still there for St. Peter's, just short.
But just the quality, you know, they got Gilmeister got it. Pucky come in, big contact, but retain possession, and then just plugged it in the corner. And yes, once again, third line out. It's been a little bit hectic here. The line out up against these guys.
For St. Peter's, Morrison, ki te taha poto, Pucky, kia CNI. Good defence by St. Paul's, keeping him off his feet. But an advantage for a high shot. St. Peter's have a penalty coming, so they spread it to this left-hand side. They can sense a gap opening, but good defence again.
Yeah, Cruz Mara on Mahangai, and they're getting a little bit extra pill here, just at the 9 seconds of the first half. Here's Luca Miller, their combination as one. Oh, yeah, just a loose pass there. And look at the numbers on defence under it.
And away he goes. CNI's got support in the form of Luca Oliveira. There may be an advantage there for a penalty. Good defence here, but it's still alive for Morrison. Now they spread it, it's bouncing, it's bobbling, it's still there. Mara keeps it alive. They're lining up here on this left side. It's Barnes. Now wide, does well to keep it in, but it's been turned over. Billy Smoppet will go back for the penalty.
Yeah, we did see a tackle off the ball, looked like a late tackle. And all 3 adjudicators have been on the same page for the whole game. There we do have the half time. We will soon see if they do have enough time for the line out. generally, if we see them go, the ref has said there is time. So they haven't been that successful from lineouts, but you got to back this team. You got to back them. They're going to have one last little dig before half time. And Millie picks up some big megs and kick.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. St. Peter's looking to finish this first half strongly. They're down 39-0. There's a massive mountain ahead of them in the second half.
It would do wonders if they could breach this try line. And there we go. It's been a tough day.
Ko puta ki waho o reira ko tērā. Te mutunga o tēnei hawhe tuatahi. Ko hato paura kei mua. Toru te kaumā iwa. Ki te kore.
Here we are, together again. What enough?
And you're all living here now? How's that one going?
Bad.
Brand new, this is home. A kuake nei ki Māori Plus me whakaata Māori.
Well, I can't wait any longer. You know my love is on fire. Oh, yeah. Come on and give it to me.
What makes Bailey's altogether better? It's the energy we bring to every home, every commercial property, every investment, every development, and every farm. Because when the energy is right, you can feel it. Bailey's, altogether better.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through really tough times. It's a real privilege, but you know, for us, we want to see others get involved in this. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
Sport is about more than just a game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
It's time for action. We are working to reduce the impacts of climate change because nature is not a resource, it's a collaborator. Nativa, leading with nature.
They feared her because she had a gift. How convenient! Most excellent. She had the gift, the power of magic.
Practical magic. Ki Māori Plus me whakaata Māori.
E te atua ka harawa e nā mātua tukuna, kia whakarongo mai koutou ki au. E pō raru nei, e pō kai kaha nei, kua mai a koutou mana ki tanga e. Marama.
Premieres 12th of August, Ki Māori Plus.
I know my hoki mai. Here's the highlights of the first half. And it was all St. Paul's in this first half. And here's Silich, who spread it out wide there. There was a try on the left wing to Caleb Blake.
Aye, haere tonu ngā mahi. Quick tap off here, Jackson Hill-Brown. Power's over. And hey, he scored in the right-hand corner and also converted that try. That ko te tū whāngai, Gilmeister, he got in on the party. And then obviously a Lockie Young. And, it has been an unbelievable display here from this team. Now, how ngā kōrero te kai akoa St. Peter's Cambridge? What's the kōrero at half-time for this team that's done so well to get here? But now they're here, they're up against a juggernaut in CNI finals.
Get back out there. Get back out there, and we can see them lining up for the kickoff in the second half. St. Peter's have got all in front of them to get back into this match. They're down 39 points to nil. St. Peter's running left to right on your screen. About to kick off the second half.
This is Whakata Māori, MāORI Plus. E mihi ana kia koutou. And I dare say they're just going to go back to their DNA, which is to Oma Hāngai, Oma Māoro, St. Paul's.
Taupō, St. Paul's DNA.
Anei te topa. Tu whāngai. Tēnei kapa Zilic. And his service, his decision-making today has been top shelf, and we just see that inside runner looking to get up there. Just that pressure. He had to look up and seen that he'd cut off that side of the field. Just a great support there by Leighton Birch. But they've got a little bit of ball in open space.
Pass. St. Peter's just haven't had enough position here as they go the short side. Miller almost intercepted there by St. Paul's off the head. So play on. And here is Miller, who's been in the thick of things. Miller, a workhorse, counter ruck, played it off the ground, and a penalty for St. Paul's.
They'll just kick right back to where they tapped off. Big Gus Ware there. Supporting him was Lockie Young. Their attitude on defence, it's an attacking defensive attitude, isn't it, Anaru?
Yes, it is. St. Paul's, as you say, come out firing on all cylinders still. Very strong up front. The counter ruck there, putting all sorts of pressure. As you can see, the replay here, he was forced to play it on the ground, otherwise it would have been a turnover. So a penalty for St. Paul's, and now they go up, and it's with Ware. And Ware to Young, these two. Wonderful combination. St. Paul's, that was Birch, who goes to the ground. Kaneke ki te rā Taupō. Oh, big hit on Kennedy. Goes his head.
Katahi te ratu. Kai te tiro haere, Hill Brown. Kai aia no te poro, ko hoki mai te paumua. Engari te tiro ki tēnei Oma Māoro, me ki kai te toto mehe tuna ia. Uaua te ratu. Ka hoki ane nei paumuri. And Johnson ane tēnei kai Tākaro Thompson. They can smell that brarangi piro, can't they, Anaru?
Again, Silic lines it up. Top board, Lucas Hull. Now tackle, Silic spreads it to Hill Brown. Good hands, it's gone backwards. Fetches the ball nicely. Alex Young. But no, the referee says it's gone forward.
Yeah, and I put a little bit of sting at the start of this half, and maybe that was a kōrero. And whakawhiti kōrero hei wānanga. That's a little bit more sting in the D. Now, definitely that time we saw two big hits in that sequence, and now they've maintained possession. But another strength of St. Peter's, St. Paul, sorry, has been this scrum. And they kai rātou te poro I tēnei wā. Oh, and here it is again.
Oh, another scrum by St. Paul's, and St. Peter's were lucky to get out of jail there. Running it, CNI from inside their own 22, and it's with the right winger there, Clark. Now Morrison. This is good stuff from St. Peter's. DeLuca Oliveira to ground. Morrison digs in again. Miller goes the other way. It's with Pucky. Pucky senses an opportunity on that right side, but they're well covered. It was Edwards Heaney who goes to the ground. Counter ruck opportunity again for St. Paul's. No good. Luca Morrison sniping out of that ruck.
Yeah, so they contest everything, don't they? But it's this hard running has been the difference. If they don't get you on the tackle, they'll definitely try and get that ball back on the ground, off the ground, and just been hard to maintain position. This attacking defence mindset of St. Paul's has been a handful.
Knock on there, but Titiroki Kai Tautoko. Tai mai, tēnei ahi, ki te tautoko.
I pai te hunga tautoko. A lovely day there in Taupō Nui Aotea. Under tauhara maunga, e mihi ana kia koutou ngā hauri o tūwhareto. And here we go.
Silich out to kill Mister. Here into the midfield, Birch wide, it's to Blake. Now Hay injecting himself into the line. Hay taken by the ankles, pick and go. Well over the advantage line. St. Paul's, but it's been stolen. It was a long advantage there. So we're going to go back.
Taku te tiro ko te kōrero a te kaiwa wao, ko te ahua he rutu ka ki, te ahua nei. And just been really in the background, our adjudicator here today. But they do so well to isolate defenders. This St. Paul's team, they get their players one-on-one outside shoulder, which is, yeah, just great work in behind that amazing coaching group of Tika and Hay. Very, very experienced.
So St. Paul's, despite them being up 39-0, they are in a very good position here to extend their lead. Some fresh legs come on. Looks like Brandon Ray Parker, jersey number 21, just preparing to come on the field for St. Peter's.
Taku mōhio, the stats have been down in your 22 today. Is very high, so they would have spoke about that, I dare say, at half-time. He's come from an interesting position on the field there to MΑORI. He popped up out of nowhere, but this is good stuff for St. Peter's. You know, just putting the handbrake on a little bit to this, I guess, this waka that's just been powering through the first half. So 6 minutes into it, they've managed to keep them away, which is a big bonus if we reflect on the first half.
Yes, so Luca Morrison to think of a scrum. Just going to ground there, but the referee's on. So Morrison goes out to Miller. Puts the right foot on it, just off the side of the boot. Not as much distance as what he had hoped for, Miller. But giving his side a bit of a breather. Only a few minutes into the second half. St. Peter's down 39-0.
Yes, so we see Brandon Parker do it to Komate come on. Looks like he may have moved into ko te pariro. You can just see him just behind this line out. And just a big mihi to forwards on both teams, just the fitness levels that these players are at. This game is played at a high speed, and they're all getting around really, really well. One paddock, and underneath the Taupō Hau, and he's ran strong and hard all day. Tēnei te tūwhanga Zilich through the hands, Gilmeister. And just once again, that's another great tackle there. They've put a bit more defence this half.
They're struggling to release the ball here, St. Paul's. It's coming very slowly. It's a turnover, massive play for St. Peter's. Will that be enough to reignite the puku?
Well said. They have, I dare say, ko te kōrero a Carl, that we've got to sturdy up our defence, ko te taha haumaru tērā, hangane ki te taha hinengaro, and I dare say it looks like they've definitely come in 2-3 attacking raids, and they've managed to turn the ball over back to back. And here it is, it's such a big contest. They've managed to hold them here.
Morrison will look to get it out, but they've got the penalty. St. Peter's, so they'll tap quickly. They've got nothing to lose here, St. Peter's, but then they kick it. And now it's there for St. Paul's. So a long ball by Birch falls into the hands of Benjamin. The big eventually goes to the ground.
Yes, I think Luca was pleading for an offside player, but he's Hill Brown. There's Young, apologies there, Lockie. Once again, DNA of this team is Oma Hāngai, Oma Māro. Hurihari, hey, just wants to play some percentage footy.
Goes straight down the middle. They're picked up by CNI, a little bobble, but he's got it. He's weighing up his options off the right foot, still alive. Stays to ground, an opportunity for St. Paul's, but it's still there with St. Peter's. Keeping it tight with the replacement, Moores, who's come on, Cameron Moores. St. Peter's look to run behind the advantage line here. That's partially charged. St. Paul's have it. They come this left side. And look who it is. It's Caleb Blake. Te pariro. E neke ki roto rao te papatakoro. Ko tēnei a Sillage. Putatu te poro ki a Kennedy.
Ai tai mai Morrison. Ai tāta whiriwhiri.
Te poro o St. Paul's.
Morrison, kei te kimi kai oma.
Ai, kei roto rā ki a Thompson. Kei tōra tonu te poro. St. Paul's ti tēnei taha matau. Ko Birch tēnei. Birch ki a Smythe. He piro. Ko tērā te parirau ko Billy Smythe. He piro ana i te kokonga.
Possession in your 22 today has been outstanding every time. 9 times out of 10, they're showing up in that part of the field and they have come away with points, but I just love this interaction. Catch pass, Lockie Young, out to who else but Caleb Blake. And then in this part, it's all about service, decision making, and look at this, such clinical could have gone himself, but unselfishly. Checks on there, Birch, and they have started the second half, scoring first 44-0 at the iwi. Big show up here today for St. Paul's Collegiate.
Another tricky kick for Hay. I've been doing the calculations on his personal tally. And yep, Billy Smythe with a try scorer in the corner and unsuccessful conversion. Whātikau mā whā ki te kore.
Yes, we're almost speechless here. Māua ko taku tuakana anaru, whakapāho atu ki a koutou. We have not seen a display like this all season in this competition. Both semi-finals were very close, so we were not expecting this today. But when it's your day, and what a half they've had. But here we go, they've definitely put a little bit more sting in defence, St. Peter's Cambridge, and they've got the ball and attacking into the field, Anaru.
Yes, they've got the penalty now, St. Peter's, and so they will look to tap and go. And it's with Okuso. Big run by Okuso, strong. Laying the platform nicely. Barnes, Ollie Barnes, another Waikato under 16 rep. And here is Miller, spreads it, it's with Mara, taken to ground.
Anei, ko haramai, ko whakawhiti tū whāngai, Lang, ko uru te kemi, so we've got Lang on in at half areas here, just driving the team around. Anei te oma, Trey, oma hāngai. This has been an area where they can just siphon the ball. Paki uses a bit of feet, and they just need to clean this out, don't they, Anaru, as they attack.
Ka harawa te Narangi Arai, Hato Paura, Tēnei Okuso. Going from one side to the other, St. Peter's, and just can't quite break this defence. And still holding up well here from St. Paul's. Great defence, intercepted. Kilmister puts the kick in somehow. Goes out into touch on the ball.
Hasn't he had a great game, not just with the ball, decision making, as we see Whanganui, he come on the later stages of the game, but here it is, just first time shows great defensive take. As we talked about a lot, the attacking defensive mindset is something to applaud.
I was very impressed with that kick off in the air, one leg on the ground. Anyway, St. Peter's off the back of the line out. It's there, and it's with Miller, who gives it to the rampaging Ross.
Takato, they're lining up now, and we're just getting a little momentum, a little bit of pill, but they attack this. Look at that. With figure, and taku te tiro ko tāhai, hea te kōrero. Ara, and on comes Chris Kahotea. St. Paul's bring on Kahotea and Gibby into the Pomua and bring that the ante up, and also we can see Caleb De Bruin has come on. Looks like replacing Smythe, but we will get confirmation of who has sub to.
Yes, so the counter ruck there by St. Paul's Collegiate. numbers to the ruck there. Wasn't coming out. So a turnover. James Berry's on at halfback for the very impressive Jamie Silic, who takes a break. What a performance by Silic.
Yes, yeah, outstanding performance. Put in a great knock, but here we go, Gilmeister. And he's just looking to steady the ship. His decision making, look at the pressure that they put on the kick, and under it, took it very safely as Parker. Retaining possession is a big win for St. Peter's there.
St. Peter's inside their own half here. In the pocket. No other response at this stage other than to kick it long and to try and get some territory out of this. St. Paul's just outside the 22. Ball stays in play. Will they decide to counter-attack here? CNI will have a big decision to make. He puts the boot to the ball, and that's a nicely put kick. And good field position now.
Yes, and not in a hurry at all there. St. Paul's, they could have easily taken the early throw, but no, they want to take control of the tempo. We have Kahotia, Te Tahi o Ngā Paumua, has come on, and also Kuhumai, Thompson, Ki Te Paumua. So just the coaches complimenting the starting 15 and emptying the benches.
Right, Chase Thompson. It's the shield, the Britain Francis Memorial Shield, up for grabs alongside the Tane Randall Cup. Short line out, and it's good, but it's just a little quicker there. So it'll be a free kick for St. Peter's.
And it is quite common with multiple changes, just to lose a little bit of rhythm. But here we go, once again with the ball, Trey Ross, Mahāngai, Maro. And kei te Kimi Kaioma, and he's had a good game today also, Josh, playing massive minutes tēnei Paumua. Norotomai St. Peter's having a little look, and on comes Waylon Paki, but turned over there by Young, but didn't release, and very, just loving the clarity of the ref through to the players.
Quick tap there by Waylon Paki. St. Peter's still look to try and get on the board here. Luca Oliveira takes it to grab. Tērā te rārangi I rua te kaumārua, ka haere ki te taha potora, ko Mila, ka hoatura kia Mara, Nari I reira te rārangi ārai, ko te Luca Oliveira. It's there now for St. Peter's, they go the short side again, it's Miller, short ball for the replacement.
Yeah, ko kuhu mai a matakiri, hara mai a matakiri ki te parirau, mo te kapa, hato pētara o katahi te oma, kei te tino here kai rātou tēnei wā, Lang, he spotted a little gap, but they were up to the task defensively, and hara mai a Josh, hara mai te tahi āhua, kei te umahāngai, umamaro, āhua torimita noi ho mai te rārangi piro, tuku te tiro. Yes, e ki ana te kai wawao, e whakai ana, he was tackled, let the ball go, and that's clearly legal, gets it again, and Josh, you are aukusoa, kōpiro.
Kaha rawa o Aukuso, te neke, te rārangi piro, te tiro anō, tēnā o Aukuso, tērā te wā tuatahi, ngari. Ka haere ia mo te wā tuarua. He did very well to release the ball, good rugby IQ there by Aukuso to get over the line, and the referee said, "Ei te pai." Whatever, he piro.
You know, the real impressive thing about what Joshua just done was he had half the opposition pack on him, and he was able to stand, so that is a great way to start to get on the scoreboard here. It's been a one-way street, but they got down there. The substitution players have had an impact, which is their job, so they're on the scoreboard.
Joshua Okuso, or Turankiwa, yeah. He had 4 years at Gisborne Boys High, 2 seasons in their first 15 before moving over to St. Peter's. And his older brother also played first 15 at Gisborne Boys. And so a fine product.
Oh, and here we go. And these are these little things that can go your way when you start putting on points. At Lang, he was straight into it. He had a little dart Lang that did sort of start the wave for them to cross the line of St. Paul's Collegiate, but they have a scrum on halfway. Options either side. They've got to let the ball fly here, Anaru.
Plenty of time to go. St. Peter's, they've got their first try on the board. Can they get another? And if so, they'll need to do it pretty quickly.
You can see Jack CNI just in the background, not giving anything away, Anaru. Which way is he going to go? Just trying to find the ball here. Lang, he does go left through the numbers. Could we just catch pass? Oh, this is beautiful. He goes Matakiri. And since he's been on, he's run hard and strong, but they've managed to lift them off. Maintaining position here, Cruz Mara. And this is what they do well, don't they? Look at this. Ooh.
For St. Peter's. Terapia kaoma no ai. Kora, o Miller, o Kuso. Paki, he makaroa.
Johnson, Brendan Parker. O katahi te ratu.
Kereira tone te poro. Taha St. Peter's, ko Miller. Kia Ross.
Blang, Josh. Soft skill, soft hands.
There's Miller to Mara, looking to offload, does so nicely to Kelson Wright. He's well covered by two defenders, goes to ground.
Lang, Kaitikimi, Anei, Luka.
Bro, no!
Aunga ringa raupa e o mahanga iana, a ki te rarangi haumaru, o te hōriri. Here we go, Paki, just attacking the line, catch pass through the hands. And they should maintain position. Got a little touch there, but they've got a little bit of wind in the sail here.
Right, St. Peter's, they're still going here. Just probing from one side of the field to the other. As it pops out for Miller. To centre field here for DeLuca Oliveira. Options both sides. St. Peter's having a little snipe. Miller running out of options. They're here on a standing start here, but it's Kitty on the wing. And it looks as though Kilmister's still down in back play. So a man down for St. Paul's. There's Miller, bumps one off, passes it, head down.
Trey Ross, Koya Lang. He's got to get this pill out nice and early.
And was the ball out? No, it wasn't. An advantage here for St. Peter's. I'll take the penalty, no doubt. They'll look to run again. That's exactly what they do, tap and go. St. Peter's.
This is the attitude, you know, they've got to definitely caution to the wind, but they've got to go do it in numbers, and they've got to have a quick ball here, quick service from Lang. He's got to really work hard just to get that ball out, just so they're not isolating.
Deflected, it's still there for St. Peter's.
Lang, Kimi Kaioma.
Takawhaka, Rua, Te Poro.
And yes, it's that, no. Hoki mai ki te taka whakamua, but multiple phases for St. Peter's. Just after scoring, getting on the scoreboard, they seem to have found their feet.
Well, St. Peter's certainly stringing the phases together, but struggling to find answers to break this very strong defence of St. Paul's. We've seen all the tries they've scored, St. Paul's, but it's their defence that has kept them strong throughout this whole match. Very hard to penetrate. Strong St. Paul's defence. There haven't been many gaps. And with only a few minutes left in this match, St. Peter's still have a lot of mahi to do here.
Very. And that Pagoki Gilmeister, he stepped into first receiver at De Bruin. He is showing his and we may have a late tackle. Yeah, te kōrera te kaua wao. Yeah, it's just that willingness and that hunger to try and put a bit of pressure, and unfortunately it's backfired. But taking full control of the tempo, and I see Hayes moved to first receiver. He's moved into Topatahi, and De Bruin has moved to fullback. He saw Gilmeister take a little knock. Hasn't found touch though, and this is what they need, some good attacking ball through the back line.
And here's Miller. Counter-attack is on. Paki out wide to Mara. Good hands. It's there for Kitty, but he's lost it forward.
Yeah, quite lateral movement of the ball. Be nice to tuck a player under, but the defensive systems of this juggernaut St. Paul's, they were just sliding, keeping them outside, not in front, so they couldn't beat them either side. And those two gentlemen that have ruled the sky, Young and Weir, are very valuable.
This is St. Paul's in position back. They pick and go just past the halfway line. Putatu None with the crossfield kick. In fact, it's landed quite nicely there for Paki. Paki still going, puts one down. Now St. Peter's put the kick in behind, trying to get a bit of territory out of that. The bounce is kind. It's popped up nicely for Smythe. Smythe, defends two, eventually put to ground.
Yes, and look at this.
Counter ruck here from St. Peter's. They've got the turnover. Edwards Heaney still there. St. Peter's. They look to get it out quickly, and they do. Okuso.
Loving the skill set of Okuso. He's got soft hands, very, very agile on his feet. Paumua, and they've got a little bit more position here. Paki. He's just got to take it to the line, Paki. Through the hands.
Kalsanai, they've got numbers out here. It's with Parker. Chops back on the inside, but a forward pass.
Yeah, once again, very lateral attack without variation. Just trying to move it and get around this this juggernaut of St. Paul's, which has been a very, very hard task to do this evening.
Yes, but there's been some standouts up front for St. Peter's. Joshua Okuso being one, Kobe Trey Ross being another. Just giving them that go forward up front.
Smiles all round on the bench there, as you would, 44-5. And smiles also to MāORI Plus, Tauta Whiri Te Reo MāORI Baileys, Nativa Celtics, and Mihiana Kia Koutou, Motemoni. O tira, Anchor New Zealand, ka nui ngā me.
Very gets it out of that scrum. It's there for Hay, just goes to ground though, knock on, but a penalty again for St. Paul's.
You just saw a nice gesture there, Lucas Hull and Josh. A lot of respect between these front rowers. I'm just in awe of the fitness levels of these Paumua, tight head, loose head prop, and also the hooker. They've been massive, played massive minutes. It's been a high octane game today. And mihiana to the strength and conditioning program of both kura.
Well, 8 minutes to go, St. Paul's ball. All of the hard work was done in the first half. 44-5. St. Paul's, can they finish on a high? They're sitting comfortably at the moment. They spread it. It's with Hay out wide, a little dummy. And how's that pass? It's fine. Billy Smythe has already scored this afternoon. Smythe,
I tell you what, sides very, very lethal, but could be turnover here, yes. Just got isolated there, and this last 10 minutes patch has been massive for St. Peter's Cambridge, but they've got to let the ball fly, keep it in hand. Given that, unless they've got a good chase, who's on it is Parker. He's out there, and the ball could bounce in his favour. But he's managed to get with Gus Weir, who's been hard to handle today. And they're playing the footy down the right end, but as we see the arm out from the adjudicator, big hit coming in from Ollie Harvey.
Yeah, it was Lucas Holland, Okuso, two front rowers going at it. Advantage over, so we'll go back for the offside penalty for St. Paul's.
Yeah, and it's been a little bit of Groundhog Day, really, about just giving away the same penalty, almost in the exact same place. I don't know if kicking the ball away is the right thing for St. Peter's at this stage, and when they're down by 39 points, keeping it in hand, with nothing to lose.
It's a good kick by Jackson Hay, taking them up to halfway. And it'll be Chase Thompson to feed another line out. Another Waikato under 16s rep. His favourite player is Sami Sone Tokeaho. He played for the All Blacks earlier this morning against the Stormers. The first match of the greatest rivalry series. Hay puts the high one up. It's easy for CNI, but they had the advantage. So we'll go back for the penalty.
And just what about the Pukenga within the St. Paul's Collegiate? Hayes had a blinder at fullback, moved into first five Taupō, shown an array of kicking skills, and Gilmeister has been flawless today. You know, really, really flawless. Had great pill from his amazing four-pack, great service also from Zilic. Varies on. Hay goes to first five, and the machine just keeps ticking over.
All of those key players that you've just listed off, Hika, you need them all playing at their best in a final, and they've done exactly that this afternoon. And now Hay spreads it out wide. They've got a new man on. It's Magoo for St. Paul's Collegiate. And it's there. They go the right side. Hay with the long ball.
Smythe.
DNA.
Yes.
Hariroda.
Matakiri's done well to contain Smythe. He's done well coming on. Anei Haramai, a Gibby, and back to the DNA. Anei Taumai, McLeod, and they can. They've managed to pretty high in the penalty counts. But
supporters are saying, "Go tap and go, tap and go."
like all great supporters do.
They kick it into touch after all of that.
It's just quickly, Kānuinga mihi, just a big mihi to our production team, bringing you our cameramen, sound technicians, directors. These are the people you don't see, and we get the joys of commentating. So Kānuinga mihi, and hope you have enjoyed this free service through Whakaata Māori.
The line up here, oh, nicely done. That was a good pass by Weir. It went backwards, so play on. Driving towards the line, it's the 5 metre line, but a slight knock on.
St. Peter's Anaru have done an outstanding job this half. It was just door open slander the first half in terms of points, but this half they've scored and they've slowed down the juggernaut.
Whāminiti e Toiana, tēnei Kiemu, te whiringa toa, o te taurua manorua te kaumaono. Pā te kaumā whā ki te rima, hato paura. They can smell it. It's getting close.
E koia, and we're grateful to be here in Taupō Nui Atia, below te maunga tauhara, Taupō Nui Atia, te moana, tū whare tō tewi e mihi ana ki o koutou, mo te manaaki. It has been the home of the finals series for many, many years, and we can see there's some great seating. We see some of those that like a little bit of aerial visuals to watch it. But here we go, the dying minutes of this game. It has been a wonderful season, and there we have Whakaata Māori Baileys, Lativa, Tauta Whiri Te Reo Māori, the Māori Language Commission also in support of Tēnei Mahi. But it's been a tough day at the office, hasn't it? Very, very tough day, Anaru, for a gallant St. Peter's Cambridge team that showed up today with high hopes.
St. Paul's in the final, Brighton Machiri. 2.5 minutes left. They've got the scrum 5 metres out after a slight knock on there by St. Peter's. What a performance this from both sides within the Waikato region, reaching the final.
You know, another impressive thing about St. Paul's is they're such an unselfish team. No one has hogged the ball or tried to do anything. They've just stuck to their systems, the policies that they've had in place. Here goes another standout, young Lockie, and they're all here. On comes, yes.
Victor. Piro. Kanoho. Kimura. Engari ko puta ki waho. Birch. Pass one. Still going. Birch.
Take a release.
Oh, he could just see that line, couldn't he?
Still there for St. Paul's, although St. Peter's was sniffing about there as St. Paul's pick and go, getting very close.
Anei hoa mark, kei reira very, and how te kore te kaiwa, wow. He harm in there, and the defence have stood up big time this half, hasn't it, Andrew?
Did not release the ball. St. Peter's with only a minute to go in this match. Luka Miller looks to kick. And they just put the big one up. No, he's finding touch. does so up to the 22. So this is the final opportunity for St. Peter's. They were blowing away the first half. They've come out. They've played much stronger in the second half, but just too much of a lead.
Such an ambush, wasn't it? Just come in high tempo. They when we seen them walking out with the shield. Oh, here we go. Just a little variation, and sometimes in the game, that's what you just at the base of the scrum there, through the hands. Paki. Oh, they've got a draw pass. They've got a really pass. Oh, hey, he's been one of my. There's so many. I don't know if you could pick one player of the day today. Everyone is just knowing their role and the responsibility within the role, and they've definitely executed that.
Team effort across the board for St. Paul's this afternoon. Charge down into touch. And how's the time?
Time off.
Time still remaining.
We have a, yes, time off. There can't be too long to go remaining in this one, Anaru. But as we said, there was 39 points put on in the first half. And so you can tell by, if you've just joined late.
5-all in the second half.
5-all in the second half. And we'll take that as a win. The sting in defence is definitely showing up in the second half for St. Peter's Cambridge. Ako ki tēnei māua, ako te taha haumaru, me te āhua ngā rutu. And their substitutions have come on and also made an impact.
The question will be asked years to come, when and where was the game won and lost? And it was certainly in the first half of this match. And St. Paul's getting very close to holding the Tane Randall Cup for the 8th time. Tane Randall played 61 times for the All Blacks, including 51 test matches, 22 of those as captain, scoring 12 tries, 60 points.
Become a great Southern man, didn't he?
He did.
Went to university and
He's out of Lindisfarne College in the Hawke's Bay, so he's a Bay boy.
Then headed south, where his career really took off with Otago, and then on to higher honours with Te Kapo Pango, and Anaru talked earlier on about if you got up early this morning, you would have watched the first game of a unbelievable tour. He hoha te mātakitaki e tahi wā, but it was good to see the All Blacks get a win to start the campaign.
To remind our audience, an old boy of Lindisfarne College who went down in the semi-final last week. He played for them between 1987 and 1991. St. Peter's feed the line out. They spread it from inside their own 22. What have they got up their sleeves?
Trey Ross, Omahangai Tonu, and that number 8. He's had to beat a lot of defence, but through the hands, catch pass. Parker, Brandon, he's come on and managed to maintain, but this has been an area of the game to maintain possession. Josh, twinkle toes, he has got the only try for Cambridge today.
Yes, Okuso out there for St. Peter's as they spread it wide for Paki. The 2 number 12s going at it. Paki gets one over his mate. Referee says play on, a bit of niggle, it opens up, a good run here,
Land.
He's good, Land goes to ground but he's lost it, St. Paul's with the counter attack, it's not over yet.
Open pasture here, kua tau mai, anei a play, kei te oma tō tika, kei te oma māro, that's how they started the game and that's how they will finish it, through the hand, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just kick it out. They're going to kick it somewhere, and anei kōwai, kei awa, De Bruin kicks it out, and there we have it. Anei ko ngā tōmo tēnei tau, tēnei o ngā whiringa tō, 8 times champions. It is St. Paul's College, 44-5.
St. Paul's will win the Tane Randall Cup and the Rick Francis Memorial Shield in 2026, beating St. Peter. Whātekau mā whā, ki te rima. Well-deserved victory for St. Paul's Collegiate. They finished on top of the table. They were up against third place St. Peter's, but it was the first half where the game was won St. Paul's. They blew them off the park in that first half, 39-0 at half-time.
And you can just see just the emotion of this team. You know, you start pre-season, building into this competition. Every team that's in this comp have aspirations ngā moi kia eke ki te whiringa tō, and here we have, we're going to go right back to the try lights. And there it was, young pick and go try. This is good interaction between the tupatahi, the two whāngai. I'm going to head it back out the bike, and he touches down in this left-hand corner. Gilmeister, oh, this Hill Brown, he taps and goes. He's far too strong. And this next one here, Hay, in the right-hand corner, converts his kick, but Gilmeister, the young Taupō, Tahi Zilic, Jamie Zilic, scores, and there's just an array of points in the first half.
That's right, and St. Paul's was spreading it out wide there, and it was a nice pass from Birch to that right wing, Billy Smythe, who was one of the standouts this afternoon. And this was the one and only try. St. Peter's scored. Joshua Okuso did very well to release, get back up on his feet. Hard man to put down, Okuso.
It's just a big mihi. Those Taupō played 80 minutes. Quite a few of them are 70 minutes correction. But here we have it. The both these proud kura. Mingari ka waiho ngā kōrero kia koe te tuakana.
Yes, it's St. Paul's who come away with the Tane Randall Cup and the Rick Francis Memorial Shield for 2026. The winners of the CNI competition, brought to you live and exclusive by Whakata Māori ko tēnei te mihi. Atu kia koutou katoa e hono mai ki tēnei pāpāhotanga i tēnei rā utira, i tēnei tau. Tēnei te mihi kia koutou ko anaru rao tēnei ko heka pene ki taku taha. Tūrau, Hawaii ki mā te wā, no ho rapa.
This is an opportunity that we can't pass up.